Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying for Beginners. Today we're going to tie an Adams dry fly. The hook I have in the vise is a standard dry fly hook. It is a size 14. The Adams you can tie from size 10 to size 20. The thread we're going to use is black thread. I'm going to use my Vivas 14-aught. Very strong stuff. We're going to start the thread behind the eye of the hook. We're going to hold the thread at a 45-degree angle. We're going to wrap the thread halfway back on the hook. And then we're going to bring the thread halfway up from what we just wrapped. And we're going to stop there. We're going to trim off the excess. The wing of the Adams are grizzly hackle tips. We're going to take 2 grizzly hackles and we're just going to use the tip. Tying hackle tips is a little bit difficult, but I'm going to show you the easy way to do it. I'm going to demonstrate on a large grizzly hackle feather. Okay, this is the hackle tip, and we're going to measure it up for size. We'll just say that it was right here. We're going to pull all of it back. This is a very soft hackle right here. And I'm going to trim it, and we're going to leave a little bit on there. And then you can either pull the barbels off and have a bare stem, but what I like to do is I like to cut them close and leave the barbel stubs there. I like to call that a crew cut. And we give it the crew cut, and now the thread has something to hold on to instead of it having a slippery stem. And now once we have the hackle stem prepared, we're going to put it in place, and we're going to tie it in, but we're not going to tie all the way to the barbs. We're going to leave a little bit of that exposed stem not tied in. So then when we lift it up, you'll have a clear, perfect wing. If you tie them in all the way to the barb, let me just show you. When you lift them up, you're going to have the hackle stems going off to the back, and you don't want that. You want them, when you lift it up, you want all of the hackle stem to be going up, all of the tip to be going up. So by leaving a little bit exposed, it's a big help. Okay, I have my thread at the middle, and I have a pair already matched and cut to size. I'm going to tie in my wing. I already have the tips prepared. I'm going to hold them right there. Take a loose loop, pull it down. Take another loose loop, pull it down. And then you can wrap back. And then when I lift them up, I'm going to wrap a couple times in front to stand them up. Whoop. When I lift them up, there's no barbel sticking out. You can tie it all in. And now put down a base going to the tail. And now for the tail, you need brown hackle barbels, and you need the grizzly hackle barbels. What we're going to do is take the hackle and do that. You don't have to have them at the 90-degree, but stand them up there a bit, and take the grizzly hackle and do the same. I'm going to put the 2 stems together, line up the tips, and I'm going to take that bunch all at once and rip them right off. And now I have my mixed grizzly and brown tail. I'm going to take them, You don't want to handle them too much because they will get out of place on you. I'm going to take them, I'm going to measure them up, and I want them the length of the hook shank. I'm going to tie them right in, a loose loop, pull straight down, another loose loop, pull straight down, and then you can put a couple wraps in there. Take your thread and give it a wrap underneath the hackle. We can remove the excess. You don't have to cut it real close. There we go. I pulled one of the tips out. And now we can just tie this down. I have a bit of a skinnier spot right there. So I'm just going to fill with thread there a little bit. Bring your thread back to the tail position. You don't have to bring it entirely back. Makes it a little bit difficult to dub your noodle. And now I'm going to take Adams Gray dubbing. This is super fine dubbing. You can also use muskrat if you want to use natural hair. If you're just learning, I suggest that you use the synthetics. They are much easier to work with. I'm going to take some and I'm going to dub the noodle, and we want to have a taper on the front and a taper on the back of the noodle. Lick your fingers, it makes it easier to dub it. And now we can take the thread back to the tail where we need to start and begin wrapping. And you want to have a tapered body. Let me go just a little bit. There we go. And when we reach the wing once again, I'm going to figure 8 through the wing. Bring that thread down and then go from back to front. And do that twice if you'd like. You can take a couple of wraps right in front of it to stand them up if they're going forward. And we're going to leave the thread in front. And now we're going to take a brown hackle and a grizzly hackle. This is a furnace hackle. You see the black stripe in there, but this is fine for the Adams. But you want a brown one. You want it the size 14. And when I prepared the hackle, just like I did with the wings, I gave them the crew cut. And I have the concave sides together. I'm going to place them right between the wings. I'm going to secure them in front of the wing first. Then I'm going to take it and secure them in back of the wing. And you want to leave just a couple of barbels of your crew cut exposed. And wrap them right to the dubbing. And I'm going to move my thread back to the front once again. And now I'm going to take the both hackles at the same time, because these are saddle hackles and I could grip them. If you're using cape hackles, then you want to wrap one at a time. But I'm going to take them both at the same time. And I'm going to start wrapping. And you see, if I wrapped it all the way up to the barbels, they would have shot out to the back, just like when I did the wings. I'm going to wrap these, and now after one turn, now they're starting to stand at that 90-degree that we want. We're going to wrap it up to the wing, and then I'm going to hold the wings back. I'm going to wrap it brushing against the wings themselves. Going to take 1, 2 turns in front. We had 2 turns in back. If you want, you can make it heavy if you plan on fishing it on heavier water. Now I'm going to tie the hackle in. A couple crossover wraps. And they are held. I'm going to hold the hackles back, and I'm going to place a couple wraps right in front of the hackle. And now I can remove the hackles. Placing the wraps in front of the hackle locks them into position. Place those wings where they should be. Now I'm going to pull the hackles back, and I'm going to wrap the head. There we go. Now I'm going to take my bodkin. You see I have a hackle sticking forward. I'm going to take my bodkin. This is the half hitch tool. Bodkin has a needle. I'm going to take the half hitch tool, wrap it twice around it. I'm going to roll the half hitch tool as I go up to keep the tension on it, and then I'm going to slide it off. And that one barbel that was sticking forward is now taken care of, sticking back or sticking straight up. Widen that out a bit. Taking my whip finisher, this is the Martelli style whip finisher. Put the hook on it. Then I'm going to bring the whip finisher towards me, wrap the thread around, and now it is the thread is crossed over. Let the thread slide to the hook shank and wrap it. 4 or 5 wraps is sufficient. Pull it tight. And remove your thread. Take some head cement. Make sure if you're using a brush head cement, make sure you clean it off very good. Have my brush cut to a point. Just put a dot of head cement on the thread. You can go all the way around if you'd like. And now I'm going to take a hackle that I have laying on the tying desk, and I'm going to put it through the eye just to make sure there is no head cement in the eye of the hook. And here we have the Adams dry fly. Hope that you learned something from my video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.